everybody. Welcome back to Kavanaugh's Corner. As always, here on the channel, I review 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays, standard Blu-rays, basically any kind of physical media in terms of movies, sometimes TV shows, things like that. I'm a big home theater enthusiast. I've reviewed some other home theater technology, most recently a Panasonic Blu-ray player that is an incredible 4K Blu-ray player. Definitely go check that one out. But today I am reviewing a movie that was sent to me by Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. So big thank you to Warner Brothers for sending this out. And it is a brand new release. Actually doesn't come out until August 12th. But that is The Accountant 2, starring Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal. And this is a movie that I completely missed when it was in theaters. A friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, went to go see it, and he absolutely loved it. And I saw the original Accountant when it came out, and to be completely honest with you, I was not extraordinarily fond of that movie. And by the way, I apologize if you hear thunder in the background. I live near the Tampa Bay area, and it's just that time of year. We just get a lot of thunderstorms now. But anyway, yeah, the movie is really about an autistic assassin, and the original film kind of went into his background, things like that. This movie here is extraordinarily different from the original, and if you were not a fan of the original Accountant and you want to give this a shot, then you might actually really enjoy it, because I did. It's much more of like a buddy cop type movie, just, you know, with only one cop. Jon Bernthal is just fantastic in this. This is actually an extraordinarily funny movie, and I got more laughs out of this than I really expected. The chemistry between Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal is just fantastic, and Bernthal steals pretty much every scene that he's in. He just chews up the scenery in the best way possible. So today we're going to be talking about the picture quality, the audio quality, and the interesting amount of special features. We'll get into that later. So to jump right into the review here, the picture quality on this, since this is a brand new film, this just came out just a few months ago in theaters. This is a digitally shot film, and from what I could find, this movie was shot in, I think, 4.6K and finished at 4K. So on this disc here, you are viewing the movie in its absolute highest quality. And because of that, you know, it being a digitally shot film, the filmmakers can really make this movie look however they want. And so I was not really expecting this to have any sort of visual issues. This is a very clean looking film, and the colors that are in this are just very natural, very lifelike colors. The whole movie has these very natural tones all through it, and the movie does have Dolby Vision HDR on the disc. And it looks beautiful. I mean, there's no issues whatsoever with any kind of colors being oversaturated. Everything is very normal looking and very true to life. And I do like that kind of cinematography. This is not shot like one of the John Wick movies where everything is very kind of bright and overblown. It's just a very natural looking film. And it has some very warm overtones. Certain scenes, depending on the lighting, have a more cooler, kind of bluish-green tone to them. There's one scene in particular that takes place in a hotel room, and you can really see like this almost bluish-green light that's coming from a fluorescent bulb in the room. And I guarantee you that was probably altered in post. Some color correction was definitely going on there. But it looks great, and the whole movie is pretty much spot on in its accuracy. The detail level in this disc is also really high. There's nothing left to the imagination in this, and that digital photography has really ensured that. You really get to see every little detail. There's a lot of close-ups of Ben Affleck and his face. Again, everything is very detailed. One thing I thought was interesting was the black levels on this disc. There aren't a lot of darker nighttime scenes, but when there are those scenes happening in the film, the black levels are fairly accurate. I didn't notice any kind of black crush or anything happening. There are a few moments where there's shadows and you don't really see what's in the shadows. I think that was purposefully done. But the weirdest thing about the picture quality of this film was the fact that there is probably most likely, I should say, an artificial level of film grain that's been added to this movie. And I've noticed that happening a lot in a lot of digitally shot films recently, where they're adding like this very light film grain throughout the picture. And it's very interesting to see. It does add like a sort of depth to the movie, and I appreciate it. It's never obtrusive in any way, and to be completely honest with you, if you're not like 4 inches away from your television, you probably won't notice it. But watching this on my LG OLED, I have a C4 LG OLED, a 77-inch, and on that TV, this movie just looked perfect. I mean, all throughout, the movie just had this flawless look to it. And again, it's meant to look that way. When you shoot a movie digitally instead of on 35 millimeter or 65 or 70 millimeter, you're going to get that kind of, basically perfect picture. And I'm not always a fan of it, but for this movie, it worked. The cinematography of this movie is really nothing mind-blowing, but I like the look of the film. I just think it could have been a little more active with its direction. It's a very standard type direction that this movie was given. The director of this, he also did a movie called Miracle many years ago, which was about the Olympic hockey team, I think 1980, where they beat the Soviets. And that movie, again, was shot very much like this, where it kind of felt, very standard. You just kind of matter of fact, and there was no flashiness to it. The action sequences were well shot, and I enjoyed that, but there was really nothing to write home about in the visuals for this. I think the biggest entertainment out of this movie comes out of the performances from Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal, honestly. Now, in terms of audio quality, this disc does come with a Dolby Atmos audio track. And that Dolby Atmos track kind of perplexed me a little. The audio on this, in terms of sound effects and the movie's musical score, that kind of stuff was phenomenal. There's a lot of gunfire in this movie, a lot of cars racing around and people chattering in backgrounds and stuff like that. And the surround effects were outstanding. There's not a lot going on in the overheads in this, but it's really the surrounds where you get that atmospheric feel in this. And that part of it was really good. I wasn't a fan of the audio mixing of this movie. The dialogue in this was so quiet, and I don't mean muffled. I mean, it was super clear, but it was mixed so low compared to the rest of the film. And I don't know if that was an artistic choice or maybe it's the sound mix on the disc itself. I don't know. Again, I didn't see it in theaters, but according to my friend who saw this in theaters, he had no issue hearing the audio or the dialogue from Ben Affleck or any of the other actors or actresses in the film. So I'm starting to think it might be the mix on this disc. And it's really a shame because I had to crank the volume up on this about 15 and a half, 16 points from where I normally have it. I usually have my receiver on a 50, and I had to crank it up to around a 66 for this. 5, 10 points, that, sometimes it's just the way the audio is mixed. A lot of movies these days, the audio mix is kind of low. With this one, it was really kind of a tell that I had to crank that thing up so much just for the dialogue. The dialogue does occur in different speakers depending on the placement of the actor. And there were certain scenes where you had voices coming out of the left, right, dead center, and right, all the above. No matter what happened, that dialogue was always super, super low compared to other things that were happening in the scene, especially the music score. The music score was definitely much louder than the dialogue, basically throughout the entire film. And it's weird because the dialogue is very well defined. There's no interference, there's no problems with it. It's just way too quiet. And I'm not sure what happened there. It's very, very odd. But the rest of the audio of the film sounded great, and the movie does actually have a really good low end as well. There was some really heavy-duty bass effects that happened in this that I thought were great, but definitely a total miss on the dialogue in this audio track. Now, in terms of special features, I would love to go over them with you, but they don't exist. There's absolutely no special features on this set. It does come with a digital code, and at the time of this review, because I'm doing this early, they have not made that code accessible yet. So I haven't redeemed it. Not sure if there's special features on the digital side, but on the 4K disc, there's absolutely nothing besides the movie. So that's a little bit of a letdown there. I at least hope for like a little featurette or something, some kind of behind the scenes something on the disc, but in this case, there is absolutely zero. It stinks because I would have loved to have seen some behind-the-scenes footage with Affleck and Bernthal, because they really seem to be having a really good time making this movie. So that's kind of a crying shame that that's not on here. So what did I think of The Accountant 2? Overall, I think this is a decent disc. Again, very entertaining movie. I had a really good time watching this. It's a great little comedy action movie, totally different from the original. Couldn't be any more removed from the original besides the characters that are in it. The visuals in this I thought were really nice looking. Again, the audio on this was kind of a miss. The dialogue being so quiet and everything else being so loud. It's not like a Christopher Nolan movie where the audio gets lost in other things. You just can't even hear it. And the fact that Ben Affleck's character does a lot of very quiet talking in this movie does not help the matter. Since there's no special features or anything, I would say definitely wait for a sale for this one. This sadly isn't really a movie that I could recommend unless you're a big fan of the original Accountant. Even then, you may not enjoy this one because it's just so different. But if you like action comedies, you might enjoy this movie. Again, your mileage may vary, so if you do want to pick up The Accountant 2 in 4K, I'll leave a link in the description below that goes to Amazon. If you use that link, it does help me out here on the channel. Not a whole heck of a lot, but what really helps me is if you like this video, definitely hit that thumbs up button and subscribe down below so I can keep bringing you reviews like this. I just want to thank you all so much for being here at Kavanaugh's Corner. Until next time, I wish you all the very best. Please stay safe, keep collecting, and take it easy.